danger!
Get over here!
Hey everyone, welcome back. And today is going to be, I don't know how long this video is going to go, I actually have no clue whatsoever, but I'm just going to talk about the next Battlefield, or Battlefield 6, or Battlefield 2021, whatever you want to call it, and I am going to be talking about how I feel and how I think it should go personally for me, and what we know from the rumors, from investor calls, from leaks, and other things. So the game has not been revealed yet, but let's look at some of the leaks we've had. We've had leaks, we had recently, not too long ago, a leak talking about, it was like a video, but it was just the Battlefield 3 reveal, but backwards. Now, this has been debunked, although one of the, I don't know if I'm pulling this screen, probably not, because one of those, recently put out a while ago put out a statement saying it would not be a soft reboot of Battlefield 3. I believe the Battlefield game 12 or 2015, one of those. Next, the investor calls have said, the most recent investor call said, I believe it was Blake Jorgensen said, the Battlefield experience will be returning to all-out war. Now, let's put this word, the returning part is easily the most important part of this, because, if you didn't know, if you didn't know, the most recent two Battlefields have been historical. And so what that means is returning will most likely mean we're returning to a modern set. That's next to saying it will be modern. Because think about that. If you put, returning, you probably mean that you're going back. And what has Battlefield not been to a while? Modern shooters. And so, basically, what this means is that we will get a modern shooter, which means more weapons, more attachments, more vehicles, airplanes, helicopters, which will be a lot of great things. And EA CEO Andrew Wilson also said that it will be unprecedented scale, obviously, I'm not that surprised, and more players than ever. And they're taking full advantage of the next-gen improvements that the next-gen consoles have given them to do, which may mean 128, so double what we used to have. I think they should go for 150 v 50, because if you've ever played a game like Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5, you know the grenade spam. There becomes a thing where bigger is not always better. Battlefield 1 and Battlefield in general, the 64 players is a very good thing, although I do think they need more on some maps, especially like Hamada in the most recent game, which was just a horrible map. I hated that map so much, I hated it. But what this means is that we will most likely get bigger numbers of players and possibly slightly larger maps to make the game, make there be like groups of 5v5 constantly going on in pretty much every single flag. Next, Andrew Wilson said the DICE team, well actually no, it was Blake Jorgensen said, the DICE team is taking not full advantage. They are ahead of both of the last games released, which means they are ahead of Battlefield 1, which released almost perfectly, had a great reveal trailer. I love that reveal trailer. Go watch it if you haven't. It's a masterpiece, pretty much. And it's much farther ahead than Battlefield 5, which, if you didn't know, had a very troubled development cycle. So if they're ahead on development, it will mean they'll have more time to playtest this. They'll have more time to figure out bugs, improve balance with the weapons. And these are great things. These are...
Is this good for the player? Is this good for the player? Is this good for the player? Is this good for the player?
Amazing. Because this will mean that we can basically have a polished game right out of the gate, and if they don't have to spend time polishing the game at the gate, that'll be amazing. It'll be absolutely amazing. Now, I'm going to get on to my next points. Next, we're going to be talking about the 4 points, more like 5, just all the points I want, my list for Battlefield, the next Battlefield. So, personally, number one, I want instant revive. I know people grope about it being realistic.
We
It's
have
not
taken
Call of
objective
Duty.
Charlie.
I am willing to sacrifice realism for gameplay. In Battlefield 1, the revives were pretty balanced. The range at which you could poke people was not absurd. You only had two. You had to wait after reviving twice to get another revive, like serum in your thing. Like I'm about to revive here. Yeah, I poked once. I only have one left. I have to wait. Number 2, I want the guns to not be a laser shooter. I want Battlefield 1 type gunplay. I want Battlefield 4. I want Battlefield 3. I don't want laser gunplay. I want gunplay to not only be really. I want there to be easy guns, something like an automatic go.
Let's go.
Just I want there to be easy guns, entry like an STG. I want those types of guns. But I don't want them to be meta. I want every gun to have a place and a play style that it can be incredibly useful. As that will add not only to the emerging game, but we won't have a Call of Duty Warzone or a Call of Duty multiplayer problem where every single, like, almost you're literally getting screwed if you don't use one singular gun, as that really ruins the vibe of any good game. Next, make the maps, make there be infantry and vehicle focused maps.
Halfway there. We have the upper
I
hand.
feel like this also ties into my next one. Another point that make vehicles balanced. So what I mean by this is make a vehicle scary on a map, but make a vehicle not scary on another map. Like let's say there's a map that's very corridory. It's a city. Make vehicles more like support vehicles in that situation. More of a not nearly as a force as on like an open map. The vehicles in Battlefield 5 were incredibly, for way too long of a time, incredibly good at long range, which just resulted in people camping on hills, and infantry could do nothing about it,
We control all
and it really just ruined the gameplay of vehicles. It was incredibly painful. Something like Battlefield 1, there are definitely some vehicles. Vehicles were definitely a little tanky, and I think as a lot of infantry mains really hated that, because an assault can't just single-handedly take out a vehicle, because they shouldn't be able to. As an assault, you should not be able to go just run up to a vehicle and instantly kill it, because that makes the vehicle spawn completely irrelevant. Vehicles should be scary, not OP. And for my final point, make the game playable at the very beginning of the game. As I earlier said, they're ahead on their schedule, but just make the game enjoyable to play as soon as I get at it. I don't want to have a cyberpunk situation where the game's unplayable because of bugs. I don't think anybody wants that. Nobody wants that. So if what they're saying to the investors and all these people is completely true, as they are ahead, they are doing well, they are full rocking, amazing.
First action.
Please make sure you playtest. I don't think people can watch this because I have a very small viewer base, but please playtest every single map. Go to each corner of the map. Look at the code. I understand that a lot of devs in game. It takes a lot of energy to go through. That's gonna do it for me today, guys. If you like the video, give it a like. If you dislike the video, give it a dislike. And tell me what you didn't like about the video, so I can improve my content. I'm probably gonna post just a normal live commentary Battlefield game video. Maybe after this, maybe World Tanks. I don't know. So stay happy, stay healthy. See you guys later.